Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Here's a Scenario. I'm one of your hosts, Mike Cannon. With me, as always,
Mike Feeney, and also
Brendan Sagalow. How are you guys? Thanks for listening to the show.
Yeah, very excited to be launching this. This is the first couple of episodes. We're not sure in what order they're going to come out. If you're new to the program, we are a hypothetical-based podcast. We do what-ifs, scenarios, and it's a comedy obstacle course, as we like to say, typically built by our fans. We take your suggestions, and we turn it into comedy on the show.
We're the jokes that you guys say to your friends in your basement, but we have the balls to say it to y'all.
What happens to you when you become professional? It's like
I think he's incapable of being professional.
I have
even
a very
version
hard
of
time.
himself.
What are you talking
It's
about?
a totally different Brendan where you get nervous,
say
your
that.
confidence is shattered. You're like, this is...
You turn into Sam Rubinoff, which is a reference for
don't
three
do
people.
That. Don't say that ever to my... Don't ever
To my
say
face.
that.
We got an audience to appeal to.
Yeah.
I think we should just get right into the questions. What do you say, guys?
So,
say
Mike,
that's a great
what's the
idea.
scenario?
Here's the scenario. This is the first question. Typically, Brendan is the reader of questions, but we're using his camera to capture us right now. So I'm going to be delivering those, and hopefully I can fill your shoes adequately.
It's exciting. I'm excited.
I'm kind of excited, too. Would you be willing to give up your life to save 10 people?
Oh.
What about 1,000? What about 1,000,000? Start with 10.
It's a hard no on the 10.
Couldn't be more on... I'll kill 10 to save myself.
I'm pretty certain I could mow down each of these numbers up to 1,000,000 and feel nothing if I was able to live.
Yeah, 1,000. If you tell me 1,000 in like Kuala Bangkor or some shit like that is gonna die, I'll be like, we'll never see him. Don't care. You know, like
Well,
that's.
so what if you had to be, what if it was in close proximity? Like, what if you had to Mandalay Bay 1,000 people just to stay alive?
Oh,
Could you
I'm
do it?
killing them to do that?
Maybe.
No, it says
let's
give
add
up
that.
your life.
Yeah.
Let's add murder.
Are you willing to be Hitler to save your own life? Can you save
answer is
6.2 million people?
I think if it were 1,000,000, I'd... What was that? What's the question?
So
What's the
first
last
it's
one?
10. Would you be willing to give up your life, meaning you
We've
die?
Obviously said
It's a
no
hard
to 10.
no.
Right.
No to 10.
No to 10. What about 1,000? I mean, listen, if it's like, if I get to see like a slow motion, almost infomercial with Sarah McLachlan singing in the background, and these are the 1,000 that I'm going to save if I fall on
Yeah.
the grenade, I could be easily manipulated.
Am I going to go down a path like when that airplane exploded in Breaking Bad and Walter was just like, geez, all those people that I pretty much killed. Is it like
Is that what that meant?
Yeah. Yeah. Is that like...
I mean, I get. Well, you don't kill them though, so that's the problem. Is it would have to be, it would like almost have to be our responsibility to save that. You know, like we would be the cause of their death if we don't die.
It'd be hard to live with. I think I could live with 10. 1,000's going to be tough. 1,000,000's going to be
hard.
damn near impossible because you can't. There's no way you're walking around the streets without people knowing that's the guy who let 1,000,000 people die.
Right.
Do people know? I mean, even with 10.
If 1,000,000 people die, it's going to come out who's responsible for it.
they're going
It's going to make the news.
they're going to look into it, yeah.
People will probably tweet about it.
But then that means 10 will like...
10
they will
no.
look up 10. Well,
10
all
people, 10
over
people
the
died
world,
in
seems
New
like.
York City today. And no
Yeah,
one
just
knew.
now.
More than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say 1,000.
1,000 is how many
Considering the
people?
violence?
How many people died in 9/11?
3,000 plus, if you believe it.
If it happened, if it wasn't a
My research shows it was direct energy weapons with plain power plants. I've gone to the accredited YouTube university, and I have a doctorate in retard.
1,000 is hard.
I think, 1,000 is going to be tough. I think, I don't know. It also depends how I'm going to give up my life. If you tell me I can die in a way of my choosing,
Yeah,
that makes it a little easier.
How would you tell them to kill you?
in my sleep.
I don't know. Yeah, in my sleep, but then you can fall asleep.
You
'cause would
cannot
know,
fall
'cause you
asleep,
would
man.
know.
Yeah.
Be like Freddy. You're just like trying to stay awake.
So this is what you got to do. They ply you with Xanax, so you fall asleep. You also are feeling completely at ease in your final waking moments. And then, I don't know, they lethally inject you when you're sleeping.
I don't know. I think that last moment before when I take all that Xanax and I'm like, all right, well, see you guys. the minute they leave, I'm puking it all up, and I'm like, I can't do this, man.
Well, they're not going to leave. They're going to watch you. They're going to make sure that you're dead.
This seems like the worst way to die.
This is how Michael Jackson died.
They're holding you down and everything.
No, nobody's holding you down. So you get the Xanax, right?
Yeah.
You eat, let's say, 3 to 5, and you're completely subdued, and you're having a good time. You know you're going to die. You're giving it up for the better good. And then you're kind of like, okay, bye-bye, everybody that I love.
Yeah.
And you eventually kind of conk out of your free will. You're going to be tough to wake up. They poke you with a little stick.
That's not bad. I pictured multiple people stabbing me
like
when
Caesar?
I fell asleep. Yeah, stabbing me in the open chest, and not even like mortal wounds, just like they're missing major organs, so I'm feeling them all and waking up.
I think what it comes down to, even if it's 10, if they all came to me, if like everybody was like, it's kind of, you could save all these people if you just don't die. I think I would do it. I would just be so reluctant. I'd be like, okay, I'd be like bitching the entire way, but I'd be like, I gotta do this, I guess.
You've consciously made the decision, right?
Yeah, you'd have to consciously choose.
I mean, if anything, the fault is not on you because somebody else is threatening 1 million lives. That's not on us.
But
that's why I find it hard to motivate myself to die.
I think 1 million people dying, I'm definitely gonna give it up because that makes you like immortal in terms of like the lore, like people, you'll be remembered. If you save 1,000 lives, I'm sure there's generals of wars that have helped save tens of thousands of soldiers' lives that we don't know about. If you save 1 million lives, people are gonna know about you.
Yeah, but if you kill 1 million lives, people are gonna know about you as well.
I know, but what's easier to do? Die so that everyone remembers you, or go one by one killing 1 million people? No. It's a lot of organization.
Brendan sounds more fun.
Yeah. No, Brendan can't do the intro. How are you going to organize killing 1 million?
I can murder people. I just can't be professional. But even if, so you're saying if 1 million people die and you had the chance to stop it, everyone's going to know you had the chance to stop it and you didn't.
Well,
you will be remembered either way. You were going to be in the textbooks as the guy who refused to kill himself.
But you're a coward for it. And then also the rest of your life, anytime people see you, they hiss at you and throw pennies.
Yeah.
Nobody has pennies anymore.
And if they do, they're throwing them at you.
I mean, I don't think... I wouldn't care. I think I'd be perfectly fine with allowing.
It'd be like
as long as your family loves you.
It'd be like if everybody that you came into contact with was a YouTube commenter. That's what it would be like.
That's how I feel anyway.
Yeah.
No, but then there'd be like... It would create this crazy religion. You'd be this cult leader. People would be like the people would empathize with you. They'd be like, I would never kill myself for that many people. You made the right decision.
You get a lot of Jesus freaks being like, well, you wouldn't be accepted into the kingdom of heaven.
And not to mention all the podcast fans that hate everyone who apologizes for a joke attempt. I mean, how much would they respect you for not dying?
Yeah,
yeah. True. Not dying on this hill. Yeah.
This guy doesn't give a fuck.
This is a weird thing and kind of related to this, but just as a quick non sequitur, I had a dream last night that the three of us were at some sort of like comedy festival, something where there were like a mixture of like new comics and like professional comics and then like legendary comics and stuff. I think like Colin Quinn was there. It was just one of those things.
We were at Skankfest.
In those dreams, yeah, we were at Skankfest. And it might have actually been like a future Skankfest because we were in a foreign location. And I remember it was the middle of the day.
And everyone was wearing white hoods.
Yeah, and you got acid. And you like gave us acid and you were like, let's do it. And then like Brendan
must have been a dream if Brendan gave you drugs.
yeah, exactly. He's not
sorry.
sharing.
There's not enough for both of us.
Yeah. So Brendan takes the acid in the dream. You and I are like, I am very on the fence. I think you ended up taking it, being like, fuck it, let's see what happens. Who gives a shit? Only live once, kind of a thing. And then I was like, guys, we still have to do shows. And I'm like, and there's people that we look like. I was afraid to be like seeing around, like, like if it was Colin or Chappelle or somebody, and be like, whoa, man, and stuff like that. And I remember Mike having a quick moment of worry, being like, oh, right, I didn't consider that. And then Brendan just going, it's whatever, dude. Who gives a shit?
I mean, this sounds exactly what would happen.
I know.
Yeah. Reasonably so, too.
Yeah.
Very realistic dreams. Grounded in reality.
I say we move on as soon as you're done doing the levels here. We
Yeah.
go on to another question, huh?
What's the scenario?
Here's the scenario. Sorry if the sound was blown out for any of that,
Uh-oh.
but I don't think it was, but I just want to make sure. If you could own any car in the world, what one would you pick?
Brennan, if you don't say the one that's on your arm,
I don't even know what it is. I was thinking about it in the shower today. I was looking at the. I was looking
Do you
at
like
it.
it? Like
I
as
love
a
it.
car?
I love it as a tattoo, and I love it as a car.
Oh yeah,
But I know it's a Ford Thunderbird. I just don't know what year it is.
67.
I think so, 67 or whatever. But like, yeah, I'd probably say this one or like a modern Porsche. I would really like. I really like those fast cars that kill celebrities. You know, you know what I mean.
You want to be an extra crispy Paul Walker?
Yeah, I want to be James Dean, dude.
Okay.
Just fucking wrap around. King.
What was he on? Was he on drugs when he died? Was that a DUI?
He was. I don't know. Adrenaline, maybe.
I think he was a drinking guy.
Yeah.
Um,
I think everybody was.
But even back then, like drinking and driving was just normal.
What kind of
Right?
car? I mean, I love like I more flock towards when people like buy old classic cars and shit. I don't really like see I understand like people who buy old muscle cars and everything. If you're gonna buy like an old Vet or an old Mustang, like the '67 Shelby kind of a thing, where you're like, fuck yeah,
Shelby.
that looks awesome. But when people are like, I'm just gonna buy a car because it was made in the 80s, you're like, oh, but you're dumb though. You
Yeah.
know, like it's just money, and how are you gonna find parts
Yeah,
for
like a
it?
'93 Impala.
Yeah, you're like, no thanks.
Yeah.
I'm more into like the fuck. If you can get me like one of those, that top of the line Tesla, or like one of those like sick, like fucking just looks like a concept car almost kind
You
of
like
thing.
the new stuff.
Yeah, more into the streamlined. I don't like everything in like the, you know, before the 90s were very boxy. The 90s became very bubbly. Everything before that was very boxy.
I like old cruisers and stuff like that. You know, like old things where like the couch is the whole car is just a box around two couches. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those are perfect fingering cars.
Oh yeah, perfect. Anything sexual cars.
Everybody used to finger because there was no center console to block your
Yeah, it was
Block
just
your
just
elbow.
two straight benches.
Yeah.
straight shot to the clam.
Oh yeah.
I just looked it up, and I'm trying to figure out the year, but I think it's like anywhere between 85 to 92 Mustang 5.0 GT.
Those things are awesome.
5-speed muscle cars. My buddy Justin used to own one of those, and the sound of it, I mean, he almost killed us like 400 times because
Easily.
it's rear-wheel drive and it just tails everywhere.
Yeah, of course.
But that thing sounds like coming.
Like the Judge, isn't that like one of those cars, a GT?
What's the Judge?
It's like a.
I don't know anything about cars.
Me
so,
neither.
yeah.
If I had my phone on me, I would. But it's like a.
If I had my phone on me, I'd know about cars.
But if you look up the Judge, it's like a '69 thing like
People
that.
who are listening who are car fans are screaming right now. It's a 62, you fucking dumb dick! Like just so angry. Car people are so passionate about cars, and they really hate when you don't know anything about
Yeah.
cars.
Yeah.
I used to. When I was a kid, I was super into cars, and then I don't know what happened. I just stopped.
Yeah. Well, hanging out in a parking lot with your hood open doesn't really seem appealing to me.
No?
Take that, you car people.
Oh, yeah.
Take that.
I also did those like
Felt like them?
Yeah.
one of those bright red Corvette fucking convertible things, or like, you know, like the fucking mid 90s one or whatever
Every
that one
little
is, the
boy's
Viper,
favorite car.
or bright yellow.
Yeah.
The bright yellow Viper, that's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Also old in the 60s, a Shelby Cobra, like the Austin Powers
Yes.
car. That car
Yes,
has
that
been
one
my
is
favorite
awesome.
car since I was a tot. My favorite attainable car, which I've talked about 100 times, but I want to buy this eventually, is a WRX STI Subaru.
That used to be my dream car.
I fucking love that car. It's 4-wheel drive. It has like
500 horsepower.
It's
It's
right off
huge.
the lot.
Yeah.
It's like
Whoa.
it's got dual exhaust, short throw shifter. It's used. It's perfect in the snow.
Turbo.
It's my buddy Anthony had one of those, and I was like, dude, I literally said, I was like, you won't last 30 days without putting your head through the windshield.
Whoa.
And he was like, you fucking asshole, like you're a piece of shit. And I'm like, I just know how you drive, and I know this car. I just know it. On the 29th day, he put his head through the windshield.
Whoa.
He's
29th
dead?
day. No, he's alive.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my God, strong head.
Yeah, we've all joked
On
that
steroids.
at the end of the nuclear apocalypse, the only human evidence remains will be his skull.
Oh my God. What was he doing? Speeding and just...
I'd rather not get into it. But yeah, he was,
It's hard to do.
I'm sure he was doing something.
It's hard to do coke off a steering wheel
Okay.
when you're trying to avoid a school bus, you know?
Not that hard.
Yeah.
You can actually turn the line
Yeah,
into
yeah,
you.
he tried to do.
A little drift bump.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
All right.
Bump.
What's the scenario?
Here's the scenario. If you could choose the sex of your unborn baby, would you? I think you can, right? Can't you technically genetically engineer your child?
I don't think
know if
so.
that's possible.
I feel like it is.
I don't know.
They offered me something. What about other attributes like height? I mean, I think everybody would try to make their kid tall.
Oh yeah, everybody would make their kid tall for sure.
But I mean,
and
how
strong.
many you're supposed to be the height you're supposed to be, right? If you were 6'5", you'd be a fucking weird looking dude.
Yeah.
That's a good question. If you could be any height, what would you be? And I feel like
Probably
Sagalow,
like 6'1" to 6'2", 6'5" would be awesome.
6'5" is a tremendous difference from 6'1". I'm 6'1".
yeah,
You're
Right.
6'1"?
Yeah, I would
6'5" then. I
want
want to be 6'5".
6'5".
6'5" is tall.
Yeah.
Like
Some in real life, if you're 6'5" and you don't put it to use in athletics, it's more or less an inconvenience. Like it's not.
Yeah.
Cars are smaller. You have to duck under doorways, all that shit, and you
Oh,
get
it
none
sucks.
of the
List.
none of the
I think
things
Joe
fall.
List is 6'4".
Yeah.
So he's pretty close to that, and I
He's
have
a
assumed,
real
I have a
Ichabod
feeling that he
Crane.
didn't. You
Yeah.
put it to use athletically.
I would love
No,
to
he's
be.
good. He's a good athlete.
Yeah, but I'm saying I don't think he was like an athlete.
Oh, he definitely
This-
didn't play overseas.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
mean at play, you know.
Play at all.
Yeah. Plays Can Jam with
I heard
us,
he was
I guess.
terrible at Can Jam.
No, he's good. He's
Oh,
actually
okay.
he's pretty good. Boy, is that going to hurt him to hear that.
He's not gonna listen to this.
Of course he will.
Oh yeah, it's
but
available. for
we're
free.
in
Clip
the
it.
same network. Why wouldn't he?
Oh no.
But so I will say this. I don't know. I would not choose the sex of my child because it's their choice. No, I really feel like, and I've said this before, I truly wouldn't care if it was a boy or a girl. I would, I guess, obviously prefer a boy in that it's like a 51-49 split in that I'm like, yes, if it was a guy, if it was a boy, I would be able to identify with what they're going through easier. But
Yeah.
like, I wouldn't be like, there's some guys who are like, when they find out they're having a girl, are like furious, and you're like,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think that's pretty fucking awesome. Like, I don't know. It's kind of like you get to see what the other side of life is
Totally.
like,
I'd love to have a daughter, but now that I'm like, I'm on TikTok more and stuff, I'm like, when how people like that hacky comment that everybody puts where it's like, oh, I hate to have a daughter because I actually feel that. I'm like, if my daughter turns out like any of these fucking skanks, I'm gonna
making $300,000 a month doing 60-second dances.
Right.
You know what? I do want to have a daughter, and I will make her a daughter.
Yeah.
Brendan's lawyer father right now might have an opinion on this.
And I would.
Well, every Sagalow man is just an egotistical like loser, and then every Sagalow chick just sucks as well. So I,
feel
don't
like
want
your
to have
sister's
any.
pretty cool, but all right.
I like Stephanie.
I do. I
love
would.
you.
I would change the height though. I mean, if my kid is a guy, I think it's more important as a guy. But if you're a guy and you're under 6 feet, there's just a level of respect that I feel like you don't get.
Well,
Like
it depends. If it's like Nicole's uncle, Joey. What?
I'm under 6 feet.
I rest my case. And so
I almost just.
Sustained.
I almost carried that in silence.
your eyebrows were going crazy. You were Jim Halperting
Eyebrows
to the
don't make
camera. I caught you looking at the camera, going like.
I was like trying to tabulate and remember how tall he was,
Yeah.
how high he was off the ground.
I'm not the 6 feet from the ground. But no, I'm very happy. I remember when I
Nicole's
was.
uncle, what I was saying, Joey, who's like fucking jacked,
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
like carries himself like a bigger dude. Those guys, I mean, you respect them. 'Cause you can't
Well, how
not.
tall is he?
It's like 5'7", 5'6".
Yeah, that's
It's
tough.
small.
But
I
that's
know.
the thing too. If you're gonna be short, you have to be like a massive meathead, like straight up like inferiority complex kind of a thing. That terrified me, and but
Didn't want to knock our sign off the wall.
spent many hours on this. This is what happens when you join a network, folk. You get all the budget. But yeah, so that's what I would do.
Yeah, we should invoice the laugh button for that piece of paper.
Yeah, and the 2 markers
You'll be seeing it.
and the tape.
And then the tape. That's a pretty penny.
35-cent swing.
What's the scenario?
I wouldn't choose gender. I don't think. And I was like 50-50, couldn't care less, boy or girl.
Yeah.
I grew up with girls, so that didn't.
What's the girl name version of Crew?
Cruella DeVille?
That would be awesome.
Dude, if it was if you
Cruella
had a girl-
Cannon?
I still call him Cruella DeVille.
Oh no!
If you had Cruella Cannon, that would be such a. It's like it's so funny to name your kid after like an evil villain.
Yeah.
That's so funny to me.
Well, if you watch Rad, it could be interpreted that Crew is actually the bad guy.
Okay, well, I don't think we have time to get into that.
Yeah, that seemed like a tease of one of us going. Mike's never wanted anyone to
that
go.
seems like
what do
a
you
Patreon
mean more?
I'll just do it.
Do
on
you
my
have any
solo
further
podcast.
Yeah,
points?
that's a Patreon conversation.
Yeah.
If you were torturing, here's the scenario. If you were torturing someone with music, what is the one track you would play on repeat for days on end?
Honestly, and they've used this song to torture people, but I'd play Kim by Eminem. I think playing that over and
Who's
over.
they?
Yeah. What?
America.
On
I don't
who?
think so.
That's a real thing. Like the
No, I thought they did it to Party in the USA. I thought they did. I thought they
I
did.
would
I thought it
vibe
like
to that song for weeks.
Party in the USA or Kim?
I love Party in the USA.
I love that song. That first guitar. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, I thought they did that at the torture prison that we had for a while there.
Rikers?
Guantanamo?
No, yeah, I thought they did that to people like when they were interrogating them.
What?
What song? How about like what about like Barbie Girl maybe?
I like that song.
Or I mean I like all these songs. What about This Is Your Night?
I love that song.
It's not about loving the song. It's about torturing. You got to picture someone not from America that you're torturing.
I
with the
can
song.
listen to This Is Your Night. I can listen to that over and over again until I'm dead.
What about Love Me, Love Me?
That
Cardigans?
Song, yeah.
I love that song.
You know what song? Welcome to the Jungle by
That's a great song.
no, over and over again.
You'd have a
no,
tough time not cutting yourself.
Yeah. That's a hard song.
It would
to listen
pump
to
me,
over
dude.
and
If
over.
I was being tortured to that song, I would shatter out of the ropes and chains by the third play, just being like, "You're gonna die." It'd be awesome. You can't have any pump up music. It has to be like an annoying song.
I know it. I was lying on the grass.
Oh, that song
Sunday
sucks.
morning
Yeah,
of last
Oh,
week.
I hate
yeah.
that song.
LATER that week. That played every
Steal my
day in
sunshine.
Galaxy Gymnastics. And
Len.
Oh my
It was by the
God.
group called Len.
Oh, that was that could cause anybody to take their own life.
What's that song that goes like?
Did you just fart?
No, I'm going like this.
Oh.
What's that song that goes like? It won't be a wealthy marriage. I can't afford a carriage, but you'll look sweet upon the seat of a bicycle, man.
built for two.
That if
What
that
is
kept
that? I don't know that
Daisy,
song.
Daisy.
Is that from a play or a musical?
I think it's just like an old ass song.
Yeah, it's
just
I
give
just
me
know it
your
from my parents.
answer, do.
don't
I'm
think those are the
half crazy.
Thinking of fingering you.
Yeah, so if that song kept playing, I'd probably blow my brains out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
You've
the
never
Len-
heard that
the Len-
song before?
Never. I don't know one word.
Feeney's never been
That's
sang to in
crazy,
his
though.
life.
That's really great.
No
you
one
never heard
serenades me.
Daisy, Daisy? Did
Did you grow up in a non-musical household?
you grow up in a house with
yeah,
people?
my mom and dad both
Easy.
weren't
Okay,
singers.
sorry.
Yeah. Come. I,
Sometimes, but other times his mother worked.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not
And
saying
then
There was a
his
key
other
left under the
father
mat.
was there for 2 days.
the TV was your parents. Yeah.
The TV was my parents. Yeah. I learned everything I know from MTV music videos. No, I think no, nobody in my family. My grandparents sung a lot, but they were the only people in any of my family that. Oh, actually, that's not true. My aunt and uncle are professional singers, so they can sing, but they didn't live with us, so we couldn't. We wouldn't hear.
You tell anybody you don't know Daisy, Daisy, they're going to think you're crazy.
Who's it by? Because you would obviously know, since it's called Daisy Daisy, and it's a classic song that everyone should know. So you should, of course,
by
know.
the singer named Maisie.
Yeah.
No, it's obviously by Floyd Kirkman.
Kirkman?
Floyd Kirkman.
That would have worked if you kept with the, but you went min.
Yeah.
Floyd Kirkman.
Kirkman.
Yep.
See.
Floyd
Okay.
Kirkman.
Well,
Buy his
fuck me, I
albums.
guess. Yeah.
Yep. Floyd Kirkman, new sponsor of the podcast. We're not cutting laugh button in on that one. That'll cover the paper.
Yeah.
All right, next, here's the scenario. If you had to be stuck in a TV show for a month, what show would you pick and what character would you be?
I like that question because
It's a great question.
they're asking you who you would be, not like, because all these trapped in movie things, they put Mike Feeney in the movie.
Right.
But I think
We're not trying to make the movies better. We're trying to just be
Yeah.
the character.
What character would you be? And what,
I mean, I would love doing a quick. It sounds like an easy month of fun would just be to be Jim Halpert.
Yeah.
In the office, because you're flirting with the chick, you're playing pranks on this guy, just running out the clock every day.
yeah.
Seems like it'd be a fun. There's very little effort involved. I could also do sales, so if I needed to do business stuff, I could be like, buy some fucking hard grain stock, you know?
Yeah, that's pretty easy. Everyone that I'm thinking of from all my TV shows, like my favorite TV shows, they all just they have horrible lives. Like Charlie Kelly or like even Seinfeld. That would
He's
be
got a great life. He does 2 sets a week and somehow makes 400.
Yeah.
That's true.
I guess Dennis from Always Sunny would be good too. That'd be fun.
I don't know.
Why?
He's probably the best off in that show. Like,
Yeah, he drives a Range Rover. He's doing great.
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah, but you also got to think about who gets like sucked off the most. So I think I'd be like George Clooney in ER.
Oh man,
that's great.
That is a great answer.
You know? He's definitely getting blown by every doc, nurse,
Damn.
and patient.
Yeah, but then you also have to deal with the stress of losing lives and seeing. Brendan couldn't do it because seeing blood, so he's out.
Yeah, I'm
But
but
as
you have
evidenced by our first question, I'm willing to see 1 million lives.
yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
So you just burst through the doors. They're like, "We've been waiting for you, Mike. Go ahead." And the chest is splayed open. You're like, "Oh, I don't know anything about that." And I was like,
Yeah. It'd be a rough month.
yeah, and then it just says to be continued. Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't washed up.
yeah.
Who's
What would
always
you
getting laid? I don't know.
I picked Jim Halpert.
Oh, right.
You gotta just pick who's always getting laid. What show character is always getting laid and is rich? Barney. I would be Barney from How I Met Your Mother.
Okay.
Oh,
I mean,
gay.
he's hurting on the inside, but
he's gay.
the actor's gay.
I thought he was gay in that show.
No, the
No,
character's
he's
not
snarky
gay.
in that show.
Oh, but I thought he was sleeping with so many women to cover up his homosexuality.
No, but I think the writers. I don't know, man. I don't think so.
Am I
Whatever.
reading too deep into it?
Yeah, whatever. I don't
Okay.
care. Nothing wrong with being gay. So I'll be Barney from How I Met Your Mother.
You'll be
Okay.
gay.
I'll be gay.
Oh, you know what? I'll be the Spanish kid from My So-Called Life. The gay kid who got to go to the bathroom with Claire Danes and all the chicks from that
I never
show.
saw that show.
I'd never
Oh,
seen
it's
that
great.
show.
Jordan Catalano was Jared Leto. He was like the prettiest little boy you've ever seen in your life.
Damn.
He was like a hot chick when he was a teenage guy.
Jared Leto looks good.
Yeah. He's a
It'd also
stud.
be kind of fun to be Brian from Family Guy. Because he's like,
Brian sucks.
dude, he's drinking martinis. He doesn't have to pay for anything. He's got no overhead.
I'd rather be Peter. if
No, you
anything.
wouldn't.
Why?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't because I don't want to be a fat monster.
I'm already a fat monster, so
He's definitely bigger than you.
oh yeah. I mean, yeah, he's supposed to be like 400 pounds, right?
No, he's not. He's not that big.
He's like 300 or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
I just know he weighs nothing because he's a cartoon.
But he weighs nothing because he's a cartoon. But he sleeps with a hot chick wife.
Right.
He's got reign over all the episodes. I mean, any episode that doesn't involve Peter sucks.
Except the Brian and Stewie ones.
Brian and Stewie ones are good too. Fuck, dude.
How about Stewie?
I'll be Stewie.
Stewie gets to suck the hot tit, and then
Yeah.
also is like a fucking can create all the.
But
you know,
Stewie's gay, so he doesn't care about the tit, and it's his mom.
Stewie's gay?
Yeah.
They tiptoe
they-
around it a lot. Well, they don't
I mean,
tiptoe
it's
around
just
it.
He's a regular
It's like-
Barney.
yeah.
Every character I'm saying.
Yeah. Do you have anything you want to reveal, Brendan?
Oh man, that would be great to be gay, wouldn't it?
Yeah, much easier.
I don't know. It's fine.
Much easier these
There's,
days.
there's
And we're back on Patreon only, folks. Sorry, sometimes
We're
we
gonna deliver this episode to Laugh Button. They're gonna be like, "Ah, we missigned."
sometimes we slip into Patreon only speak. And if you want to check out our Patreon, go to patreon.com/scenariopod. But
Yeah.
Keep supporting this show right here.
Yeah, not to mention if you're coming to the show for legitimate opinions, you should, just consider swan diving off the tallest building nearby.
Yeah.
All right. Next
What's the
one.
scenario?
Here's the scenario. If you had to be stuck, just answered that. If you had a week to live and could do any 5 things in the world, what would they be?
5 seems like a lot, but it also seems like not that much if you only have a week to live.
Yeah, I would. The first thing I would do is like get international. Like I would take a flight and go all the way. I would want to see as much. I would do a travel spree. I think I would try and go see maybe the 7 wonders of the world, or one of those things. Like I would try to go to I would go to Greece. I would go to Japan. I would go to Italy again. I would go to where's the place I haven't been that I would like to go? Maybe check out Germany, and then maybe in my last couple of days, let's check out fucking some weird. Let's go to Antarctica. Let's just see what that's about. You know, just see what it's like in the deep, deep cold. Yeah, and then
I would probably do that first. Because you don't want to if you're you don't want your last memory to be like, what is this? This sucks.
Do you know what the cool thing about death is?
What?
There are no memories.
True. That's true.
Yeah.
You know what I would love to do? My last thing I would do is make sweet, sweet love to the hottest chick.
Oh, are we doing fantasy now, or are we doing reality?
Well, yeah. None
I
of
would
us
take
have
out
a week to live.
I would take out, but
or
I
the
would take
finances to do any 5 things.
No, I would open up. I would just max out every credit card. They don't know I'm going.
Oh yeah.
Then you gotta take Erica with you because she's left with your dad.
Oh, she's coming with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, why'd you say that so knowingly? Yeah.
Of course.
I don't know. I definitely want to travel somewhere, but nowhere seems like
Australia would be
perfect.
cool too, actually. Great Barrier Reef.
I would like to go to Italy and or someplace where just to enjoy a nice restaurant in dim lights with
I'll be
somebody
honest.
that might love me.
I'll be honest. If I went to Italy first and one of before I go Italy, Greece, all the other places, I probably would never leave Italy. I just spend a week there because you're you go there and it's it's a stereotype of Italy, but there is no better food on the planet than when you're eating food in Italy. It is just there's just nothing. It's just nothing. Everything that we think Italian food is, it's somehow so much better there, and you go there knowing that, being fuck you, just like with Kauai, where you're there's no way Hawaii is as nice as people say it is. It's just a beach and sand. What could be nice? And then you go there and you're oh
Yeah.
oh
This is a screensaver.
yeah. This is everything about it is great. Yeah, so that's probably what I would.
That's what I was thinking too. I was my first thought was immediately Hawaii, and I was yeah, I'd probably just post up there for a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then just throw yourself into a volcano in the last
I
hour.
would legitimately off of a helicopter. So I'd on my last to count down for me to die. Yeah. I would have a helicopter fly over the ocean to scout, and then they'd chum the water from the helicopter, and we'd try to get a great white to breach the water, and I would try to dive face first into the great white's mouth.
Cool. That would be awesome.
That's how I would go.
Yeah,
off of a helicopter, and not to mention, I would jump super high off the helicopter, so hopefully before I get eaten, my head gets lopped off by the fucking
that's pretty
propeller.
good.
Whoa, that would be all. Yeah, but you'd miss the fun of falling.
There's no fun in falling.
There's only regret in falling. Yeah, there's only regret.
Yeah, I would probably go to Italy and just stay there and have good food and be in nice restaurants, dim lights. Try to meet a woman, who
You'd have a New York accent. You'd be a catch there.
Really?
Yeah, and everybody in Italy is they look like me. They're all very skinny. Italians that you're picturing are New York Italians, but Italians and Parisians are all skinny little 140-pound men. They're very not strong people.
I sometimes search for porn in Italian, and it's the hottest.
Really?
chicks. Yeah, it's great. You got. That's when you're searching. This is advanced stuff.
Yeah.
You gotta search.
This is tab 36.
Yeah, but
Whoa.
you gotta search in their language to get the real stuff. You can't just search for like Italian girl. Then you get Snooki being like, somebody fist me.
Yeah.
It's kind of hot though too.
Um,
And yeah, I'd go there and I'd try to meet somebody and have like a little honeymoon phase and then just fucking have her have a horrible morning one day.
Just put that on her for the rest of her life.
I love that Brendan would like have the time of his life in Italy, just completely charming the pants off of some smoking hot girl who on the 7th day tells him she just wants to be friends.
Yeah, just friend zoned him. It's like, for your last day, I brought my
before
boyfriend
right
over.
before I die. Yeah,
your boyfriend. Oh, you should meet my boyfriend. This guy Brendan is so cool.
Love him.
Yeah.
All right, next. Here's the scenario. If you existed in the Star Wars universe and were a Jedi, would you stay with the Jedis or join the dark side?
Now, Brendan, you're gonna have to break that down for me to the pros and cons of doing both.
Okay, so what do you look at it like? How do you see it now? Like, what's your knowledge extent of it right now?
Nerd versus losers. So what do you think? And I know Hayden Christensen turned. He went from
He
good
went
to
evil. He
bad,
became
and
evil.
I remember him like whining and crying for a lot of hours in movies. So I don't want to be that because that sucks. But
Every other Jedi, like Obi-Wan, is super cool, and he's
cool,
like,
or he just is like honorable.
he's an honorable, cool.
But is
dude.
that cool? A lot of times, I feel like
Being honorable
like
is
Darth
cool.
Maul is the coolest character in all of
That's
Star
very
Wars.
cool.
Is there anything better than Darth Maul?
No, I mean
Darth Vader.
Darth Vader.
Darth Vader, but then he's
Han
still-
Solo's pretty cool too.
Han Solo's cool. You can
But he's not even
smell
like
the puss
anything.
on his hands.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's not like a Jedi or anything. I think so. The cons of being a Jedi are you're basically like a priest. Like you can't have sex.
Yeah, that sucks.
You can't make love or anything.
Darth Maul, baby.
Decision
Yeah,
made.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be a
rather be
Sith.
the most insignificant like speck in the dark side than
Yeah.
be some fucking herb that's like, I believe in good.
Plus,
Yeah,
those white
yeah.
suits seem pretty cool on a stormtrooper.
Well, they're not.
They're
Are
bad.
they? But they're not like.
They're like the
dark
German
side
Nazi soldiers. They're
They
like, we just
became
signed up
dark
because of
side.
our
Yeah,
country.
But
So
they're
they're
just, like,
clones.
foot soldier people.
Yeah, they're
right?
just
Like, they can't
clones.
do
No,
that.
they're not. It's not Attack of the Clones. They're actual
No, they're
people.
they're clones.
They're
all,
robots?
all the stormtroopers were initially clones.
They're all Gary.
They're not robots. They're just
What do you
clones.
mean?
They're just one guy.
They're one guy that
they all
was
look
made into a
different.
bunch of different people. Yeah, because they were clones that were raised from birth. So they're all the same looking guy, but they develop different personalities and stuff, and they have different haircuts.
And then,
all
but
that
how?
shit.
What if they're like, I don't want to be a stormtrooper. I want to be a
They have
comedian.
that? They have that.
Really?
Yeah. If you watch the
They have a comedian
clo-
for the dark side.
hey, well, so what's
What's the deal with moving things with your mind?
the other day I was flying through Tatooine and you see all this desert and you're like, why don't you just move? I mean, there's spaceships readily available. Why don't you just go to a different planet?
I'm picking the dark side. That's what I'm picking.
Yeah,
A
me
landslide.
too. Me too. Dark side, and I think we're gonna do a convoy on that one.
Convoy.
Yeah.
That's what we do every single time we all agree on something. We do a universal little convoy. There's no rhyme. There's no reason to it, but
It rarely happens. So
get
enjoy
used to it. Yeah.
All right. So next question: if you were given the chance to travel to an alien planet, but you had to be frozen for 20 years while the spaceship traveled there, would you take it?
Now, this is going to be a big if, which is like if that there is some proof that there are alien life forms and that they're hospitable. Because if it's like, oh, we don't know if there's going to be anything there, you're going to go try and find them, and also they might kill you with some like some zap noise or some shit,
Yeah.
then I don't want to go. But if you're like, oh, I could preserve me for 20 years and then end up in some other place where they're
There's
pretty
more to this
chill.
So
question,
there's
isn't
more
there?
to this. Yeah. When
Oh.
you make the return trip, it takes 20 years again, but you only age while on the alien planet. So everyone you know is now 40 years, and then Brendan fell asleep.
Is that question not end?
That's
Kind of trails off.
so everyone you know now is 40 years older, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you only age while you're on the alien planet. So it would take us 20 years. So that we leave.
This is some interstellar shit.
Yeah, we leave. We get there. Nicole's 55. right? Then we stay there for however long. We age, so we
stay there for like a
say we
year.
stay there for like a year. We're 36. We come back. Nicole's 75, and I'm 36.
Whoa.
And your kid is older.
Right, and he's older.
And he's 21 or whatever.
However,
think
the numbers work.
40. He's
that's
probably
tough.
40.
I guess
41.
I thought this was more of a one-way trip situation. Coming back seems like
I guess you don't have to come back.
no, I wouldn't do it if I have to come back and then see everybody age, because then you get a lot of FOMO. You know, you get FOMO on the way, but you're frozen. So when you wake up, you're like, oh man, I wonder what's going on Earth, and then you're talking to fucking Blue Blorp and Glop, and you're like, oh, never mind, I'm doing something nobody's ever done.
Blue
And
Blorp and Glop, the really famous comedy duo on
Yeah.
Planet Zurton.
It's the Blue Blorp and Glorp Comedy Hour. They just show them like shooting acid out of their nipples, and they're like, classic.
Yeah, but also getting scared by an elephant, like
Yeah.
Johnny Carson, like whoa,
Yeah.
in a suit.
Someone puts a monkey on their shoulder, like, get it off, you know?
But then also like molding together.
They're advanced technologically, but not comedically.
Yeah, they're like, we're gonna have to sweeten that episode up.
No, I've never been less interested in something.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
I mean, maybe if I was like fully alone.
I don't know, man. I guess I could put put
Put
that convoy down.
If it goes down,
It's a once in a lifetime thing that it's no one would ever,
You're basically Jane Goodall of
You
Aliens.
did that into the microphone. I want you to know you just go.
I don't know, man. I guess you could. Someone like me, I'm a bachelor. I'm a young man.
Nothing to live for.
I got nothing to live for. You don't know what kind of dietary supplements they have on this planet. I could be king.
You think they're gonna have the next hydroxy cut?
Yeah. Trim spa, baby.
You just snap your fingers and like, look at this.
I don't know. I guess I would do it.
Bobby Kelly said a really funny thing where he really loved VR porn, but just because he could look down and see abs.
That's great. That's really
fun.
great. I would do it. I think I would do it.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, why not?
2 out of 3 ain't bad, but
Yeah.
it ain't a convoy.
Sure ain't.
All right. So next question, potentially last. Should we actually give some? Are we shouting out Patreon members? So this is what we're going to say for our free show. We're still working out the logistics in terms of how it's going to coexist with our Patreon. We have additional content. We do 2 additional episodes of What's the Scenario per week. I do an individual podcast on our Patreon. Again, it's patreon.com/scenariopod. We also put a lot of our other content up there early for you guys to see exclusively. So join that anytime you want. Tiers as low as $5 and upwards of $50. We got a ton of content for everybody. So thank you guys for being a member or being part of that, which is super cool. But,
Yeah, and just as a heads up, we're doing these ahead of time before we even technically are fully launched on the network. So I think once the show gets going is when we'll start shouting out some Patreon members on here. And
yeah,
stuff
so
like that.
these are evergreen sods, and we're just we're doing them to wet your beak a little bit and hopefully get you guys into the long-term game of here's the scenario.
Yeah, so if you want to shout out, you can join the Patreon, and then we'll
join
do
the
that.
Patreon. Plus, we do a every single month. We do a live here's the scenario game with our top tiers of Patreon members. So our fans, they join us in a Zoom, and we basically play the game with each other, and it's a real episode of our show
Fun.
that you guys
Super
get to be
fun.
a part of. So I don't
fun
think you
to
can
see
find
what-
that anywhere else on Patreon.
It's fun
No
to
way.
see what non-comedians think of answers. Where they're
Oh,
like,
because they're so much smarter.
No, I think it's just because some of us, but the ones who didn't go to community college, there
I went
are
to 3
one of
colleges.
us.
Yeah.
It's one of us.
I went to community college.
Yeah, but you also went to a state school. At least for a
I
little
also
while.
went to a state school.
When?
I graduated from Pace University.
Brendan, you just should forget
You
about the SATs.
Of course, but I still the SATs have nothing to do with it.
They have actually
I
everything
got
to
it
do with
based
where
on
you went.
charm,
Yeah.
baby.
The SATs are culturally biased, and poor Brendan was a victim.
Yeah.
All right, I guess let's
Let's do one last question.
Yeah, let's do it,
Again,
baby.
thank you guys so much for listening. Tell your friends. Word of mouth is how we're going to spread this pod around, and you guys asked for it. You like the 3 of us together, so this is a pod that we're I almost said gifting to you, but Jesus Christ. We're just putting it out for you guys because we love you and we're doing as much as we possibly can.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Tell your friends, tell your loved ones, spread this around, leave us a 5-star review.
That's big.
And follow us all on social media at I am Mike Feeney.
At I am Mike Cannon.
And at Brendan Sagalow.
Boom.
Right.
For tour dates, everything else.
Yep. Last question. If you could make a robot that looked and behaved just like you so it could work your day job, what would you do with your time? I would have a day job with that robot. Like he would just do whatever I did poorly before this so we could get health insurance.
Yes.
And then I'd just do that. I mean, my time would be how I spend my time right now, but that robot would be shit out of luck. With having
my robot would be an anesthesiologist and just make like $700K a year.
My robot would be a delivery driver, and then he'd come home, and I'd be like, "You got fired?"
You have no idea how hard
it's so hard to drive while high. Like it's not.
I do it all the time. Yeah.
All right, that was the episode.
That's our
everybody.
show, everybody. Thanks for listening again. We're just getting going. Thank you to the Laugh Button for giving us a home, and check out the other shows on their network. And keep listening. And we'll be back next week.
We love you.
Later.
Here's the Scenario is Mike Feeney, Mike Cannon, and Brendan Sagalow. Executive producers Robert Kelly and Matt Kleinschmidt for the Laugh Button Podcast. For more information about the show, visit here'sthescenario.com.